These are the biggest mistakes I've made in the last 5 years of being a business owner. So right after high school, I said, fuck college. I'm going to figure out on my own. I didn't want to go to college. I hated school. And mind you, I had gotten a full ride that I didn't even know about. But let's not get into that. That's a whole nother story. But regardless, even if I knew, I wouldn't have taken it because I hate school. It's just not my thing, bro. Like, some people, they like school, but it wasn't me. Like, I don't want to be a robot. I don't want to be robotic. I want to be myself. And so after high school, I decided, hey, I'm going to figure this shit out on my own, bro. I remember straight after high school, I read Think and Grow Rich, and then that book changed the trajectory of my life, bro. Ever since reading that book, I just knew there's something greater for me. And so in these last 5 years, I've tried so many things. I've tried, okay, Dick Watts. I've tried growing a physical business like power washing. I've tried climbing up this insurance company's ladder, right? I tried sales. I tried drop shipping. I tried trading. And for like 4 years in a row, I didn't gain momentum on anything. And mainly it was because I kept jumping from idea to idea. I never dedicated myself to something. So that was a huge mistake, not dedicating myself to anything early on. I would jump around a bunch. And then, funnily enough, after my last relationship ended, I said, hey, I'm going to dedicate myself to Amazon fully. I remember doing Amazon back in 2021, and I just didn't dedicate myself to it fully. So now 2023, 2 years later, I had an account already, and then I just started figuring it out. Every day, I was obsessed with it. It became my only obsession besides the gym. And so, I mean, hindsight is obviously 2020, but if I had dedicated myself to something earlier, I would have progressed quickly, but it's not my timing, it's God's timing. So it doesn't fucking matter. Because life isn't going to happen on your terms. It's going to happen on what God wants for you. See a Corvette right in front of me? Guys, Corvette or M4 or M3? What should I get? Let me know. And so after dedicating myself to Amazon, I started gaining momentum on it. Corvette. And eventually, I was able to quit my job and just do Amazon full time. And eventually, I was able to close my store down and start a new business. Take the funds I made from Amazon, invest them into a new business venture, and now I'm running Facebook ads and scaling a service-based business, a high-margin service-based business. Emphasis on high margin. The next biggest mistake I made in my last 5 years of business ownership is that I didn't dedicate myself to a high margin business. High margin business. If you're getting into a business, please make sure it's high margin, guys. If I had known this, like I said, hindsight is 2020, I would have never gone into Amazon. Here's why. Let's say you do $1 million in revenue, which is roughly what I did this year in 2025. I did 1.1 million in revenue. Usually 10 to 20% of that is profit. 10 to 20% of that is profit. And mind you, I had some down months, so I'm under 10%. Sure, I made money, but the ratio between work and reward was highly like off balance. Like, you had to put in so much work to get a good amount of money, but you know, you can dedicate yourself to a high margin business and that ratio evens out. So this is the biggest mistake I've made, is not dedicating myself to a high margin business. So if you're thinking about starting a business, please make sure it's high margin. The last thing you want to do is scale a low margin business and realize you should have been doing a high margin business from the jump. And you know, I'm making this video so there's somebody out there that can learn from my experience. Somebody out there will take this advice and be like, okay, I can learn from that. Like, some people are surprised when they tell me something, right? Like they tell me, hey, don't do this because you'll get that, right? And you don't want that because of this, right? And they explain it fully logically, and I'm like, oh, okay, I won't do it. Like, some people are just surprised that I listen to their advice, right? Like, if you tell me, hey, Gene, don't go that way because if you go that way, you're going to trip and fall. And then I still go that way, trip and fall, and learn on my own. Like, I could have saved myself so much time by just listening to you. So listen to other people, bro. If you can take, they say 2 brains is better than 1, right? If you can take the experiences of another person and the lessons they learn from it, it's like a cheat code to life, bro. Like, that's why it's good to surround yourself by like-minded individuals. Like, for me, people that create content, people that grow businesses, people that have ambitions similar to mine. When I align myself with them, I learn from their experiences. And therefore, I can 2x my progress in life. So this is not a mistake that I made in business, but this is actually one of the greatest things I've done in business, and I want to put it in this video because I want to. So make sure to put yourself out there, bro. Put yourself out there to be found. Eventually, the right group of friends are going to find you, bro. You're going to meet some people that are going to influence you in a good way. Like my boy Aiden, bro. Shout out my boy Aiden. If you're watching this, you're a G, man. Much love. Me and Aiden, we got into Amazon together, right? Like, we were in the trenches together, bro. Like, when we was doing no revenue, we were sourcing late night, bro. We was putting in the work. We was figuring out how to grow Amazon. And so I developed a brotherhood with my brother Aiden that's gonna last me like a lifetime. Like, the other day, no, like maybe like a month ago, he sent me this advice. He was like, hey, you should put chapters in your video, right? And I'm like, bet, Aiden, I'll do that. It took me a while, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it took me a while to implement this, and I eventually implemented it, like, just recently. I figured out a system that can just work with my workflow, and so I took his advice. The point I'm trying to make is to surround yourself by people that will make you grow. My boy Aiden gave me some good advice. I implemented it. Now my videos have leveled up slightly because now you have chapters. Now you can see what I'm talking about. You can watch whatever you want and just making it a better experience for the viewer. But this is like so like niche down, such a fine detail. And what I'm trying to get at is such a wide, experience, because you'll help him grow, he'll help you grow, and you guys just grow together, make hella money, get to the bag ski. And so that's what you got to do. Surround yourself by winners. because in the Amazon journey, I met so many fucking losers, bro. And then we would hop on a few calls, we would work together on a few calls, but you know, they didn't want it like me and Aiden wanted it. Then we met Ryan, Locke, and Joey, and then we created this little group of fucking dogs, man. Like my boy Ryan, my boy Joey, and my boy Locke. I don't think Aiden is selling as much anymore, but these niggas did numbers in Q4 in Amazon. Like crazy amount of money, bro. And I chose to move away from Amazon, like I said. Hold on. Because there's outliers, right? People can do hella good on Amazon, right? It's just so risky and low margin. But you can make good money on Amazon. I just chose to move away from it because of, number one, the low margin and the high risk. But you know, you got some dogs like Joey, Ryan, Locke doing numbers, bro. So surround yourself by people like-minded. Choose a high margin business and get to the fucking bag, my brother. Get to the fucking bag. Enjoy the drive.